All right, so we're diving into the world of cryptocurrency. It looks like you've done your homework. We've got articles, research, and even your own notes. Wow, you're clearly ready to learn about crypto, huh?
Yeah.
It's a wild world, but we're going to explore it together.
Yeah, it is pretty wild. And it's more than just a new type of money. It's a whole new way of looking at finance, tech, and even what's considered, valuable these days.
You're right about that. And speaking of valuable, I see you're interested in decentralized finance, or DeFi for short. We're definitely going to get to that.
DeFi is definitely a game changer.
Yeah, for sure. But first, let's rewind. Back to the very beginning, the genesis of it all, Bitcoin.
Ah, Bitcoin.
A story that starts in the shadows, shrouded in mystery. It's 2009, and this person, or maybe a group of people we don't actually know using the name Satoshi Nakamoto, publishes a white paper.
This is the famous Bitcoin white paper, right?
Right, Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. And to this day, no one knows who Nakamoto really is, but Bitcoin, their creation, has, well, sparked a revolution. When I first read that white paper, I was blown away by this whole idea of a decentralized digital currency. It was mind-blowing. But I have to admit, the tech behind it, the blockchain.
Oh.
Well, let's just say it took a while to wrap my head around.
The blockchain can seem complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Look, you even included a research paper on different types of blockchains, like directed acyclic graphs, DAGs.
Oh, right, DAGs. Those are interesting. They offer some advantages over the traditional blockchain structure, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. They're being used for projects like IOTA and Hashgraph. Supposedly, they offer benefits in scalability and speed.
Instead of a straight line of blocks like a chain, they're more like a web, right?
Yeah.
More interconnected.
Yeah.
At least that's how I understand it. So maybe they can handle more transactions, process them faster.
That's the general idea. But, there are trade-offs.
There are always trade-offs.
Yeah, security and consensus mechanisms are trickier with the DAGs. More complex, compared to a traditional blockchain.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like comparing a superhighway to a network of back roads. Each has its advantages and disadvantages. Depends on where you're going and how much traffic there is.
Ah, great analogy. And it highlights how diverse blockchain tech actually is. What works for Bitcoin might not be the best solution for every cryptocurrency. There's so much innovation and experimentation happening. It's exciting.
Speaking of experimentation, we can't forget about Bitcoin Pizza Day, right?
Hmm.
Back in 2010, this developer, Laszlo Hanyecz, bought 2 pizzas using 10,000 Bitcoins.
Yeah, legendary story in the crypto world.
If he held onto those Bitcoins,
Oh.
wow, he'd be sitting on a fortune.
Makes you think, huh?
It really does. But that period between 2010 and 2013, it was crucial for Bitcoin. It started getting traction. We saw altcoins emerge, like Litecoin.
Yeah, Litecoin, often called the silver to Bitcoin's gold.
I remember reading that white paper on Litecoin, all about faster transactions, a different mining algorithm.
Trying to make it more user-friendly for everyday use.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was a sign that things were expanding beyond just Bitcoin. The crypto ecosystem was growing.
It was like watching a new world being born.
And as Bitcoin became more popular, it started attracting attention from more than just the tech folks. Investors started noticing.
And by 2013, Bitcoin was making waves in the financial world. I mean, Forbes named it the best investment of the year. That's huge.
It was. Bitcoin was no longer this fringe experiment. It was a real player. But no one knew back then that this was just the beginning. The cryptocurrency explosion was about to begin. It was like someone hit fast forward on the evolution of crypto, Thousands of new cryptocurrencies popped up, each with its own goals, its own tech.
An explosion of innovation, all fueled by the possibilities of blockchain technology. And leading the charge, Ethereum. It wasn't just about transferring value, it went further. Ethereum introduced smart contracts.
Oh yeah, smart contracts. I remember sending you that article about a decentralized prediction market built on Ethereum.
Right, where users can bet on real-world events.
Yeah, everything from elections to sports games. It's fascinating.
It really shows you what smart contracts can do. They can power all sorts of decentralized applications, dApps. Imagine a world where agreements, insurance, even voting are all automated and transparent on the blockchain without needing a middleman.
It's like giving power back to the people, cutting out the middleman. But with all this innovation came a new set of challenges, right? Governments couldn't just ignore crypto anymore. Things got interesting on the regulatory front.
For sure. We saw a whole spectrum of responses. Some countries, like El Salvador, they jumped all in, adopted Bitcoin as legal tender. Others were more cautious, focused on regulations, protecting consumers, preventing illegal stuff.
I remember reading that report you sent me from the Financial Stability Board.
Yeah.
Highlighted the risks of cryptocurrency to the global financial system. Money laundering, market manipulation, things like that.
Real concerns, absolutely. It's what regulators are dealing with now. Cryptocurrency being decentralized and pseudonymous, well, it's appealing for illegal activity, makes it tough for law enforcement.
So it's a balancing act. Encourage innovation, let this tech grow, but also protect people, make sure the financial system is stable.
Finding that balance is going to be key for the future of crypto. But there's another big player emerging now, too. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs.
Ah, yes. The rise of the digital dollar, digital euro. It seems every country wants its own digital currency these days.
It's a fascinating development. Raises a ton of questions about the future of money. Will CBDCs work alongside cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum? Or will they eventually replace them?
That is the big question, isn't it? Some people think CBDCs offer the best of both worlds. The stability of a central bank currency, but with the efficiency and transparency of blockchain tech.
I think that's a valid point. CBDCs could be good for financial inclusion, could lower transaction costs, maybe even make monetary policy more effective.
But wouldn't that give governments even more control over our finances? Part of what makes cryptocurrency so appealing is that it's decentralized. No single entity controls it.
That's a valid concern. Increased government surveillance with CBDCs, it's a real possibility. A trade-off, really. Something individuals and societies will have to consider carefully.
It's like we're at a fork in the road. One path leads to money controlled by central banks and governments. The other path leads to a decentralized future, where individuals have more control.
And it's not just about control, right? It's about privacy, security, even free speech. Crypto has the potential to empower people, to challenge the existing power structures.
It all circles back to what you said at the start. Cryptocurrency isn't just about money, it's about a shift in power dynamics. But let's zoom back in for a moment. You mentioned Litecoin before, but there's a whole world of altcoins out there, each with its own twist.
Oh, absolutely. We've got privacy coins like Monero and Zcash. They prioritize anonymity. Then you have stablecoins like Tether and USDC, aiming for stability, less volatility. And of course, you can't forget the meme coins, Dogecoin, haha, gaining popularity for its, well, let's say, humorous origins.
It really is mind-boggling, the variety out there. But let's shift gears. I know you were really intrigued by decentralized finance, DeFi.
DeFi, one of the most exciting areas in crypto, without a doubt. It's about building financial applications on a blockchain, no need for banks or brokers.
And in your notes, you highlighted yield farming. You were fascinated by that.
Yield farming is so cool. Users earn interest on their crypto by providing liquidity to these DeFi protocols.
It's just one example of the new stuff happening in DeFi, right? Decentralized lending platforms, decentralized exchanges, even insurance protocols.
It's like a parallel financial system popping up right in front of us.
But let's be real, DeFi is still new. It's not without risk.
Absolutely. DeFi is complex, high risk. We've seen hacks, exports, rug pulls, developers disappearing with investor funds. It happens.
That's scary stuff. What's
Yeah.
being done to make DeFi more secure?
Well, security audits are more common now. Independent security experts go through the code, look for vulnerabilities.
Like having a second pair of eyes to check the work, make sure everything's up to standard. But what about accessibility? DeFi can seem intimidating.
It's true. Many DeFi platforms are still complex to use, but there are projects working on that, trying to simplify things, make it easier for everyone.
That's good to hear. It's like the early internet, remember? Everything was confusing and clunky, but over time, things got easier, more accessible.
Exactly. We'll see that in DeFi too. As the technology matures, the user experience improves, it'll become more mainstream. DeFi has the potential to revolutionize finance.
It's exciting to think about. But amidst all the excitement about DeFi, let's not forget another game changer, non-fungible tokens, NFTs.
Ah, yes, NFTs. They've taken the world by storm. That article you shared about Beeple selling his NFT artwork for over $69 million.
I was blown away by that. It really brought NFTs into the spotlight. But for those who don't know, what exactly is an NFT?
An NFT is like a digital certificate of ownership. Stored on a blockchain, it can represent ownership of anything digital, art, music, virtual items in a video game, you name it.
So like a deed to a digital property.
Exactly. And because NFTs live on the blockchain, they're unique, verifiable, tamper-proof. It opens up so many possibilities for digital ownership.
NFTs are being used for all sorts of things now. Collectibles, art, music distribution, even virtual real estate. It's crazy.
And that's just the start. NFTs can revolutionize gaming, entertainment, even supply chain management.
But with all the hype, there's been concern about speculation and inflated prices, right?
Absolutely. Some NFTs have sold for ridiculous prices, all driven by speculation and fear of missing out. Be careful. Do your research before investing.
Good advice. Like any new tech, there will be bumps in the road. But the tech behind NFTs, it's powerful. It can change how we interact with digital assets.
For sure. Just one more example of how this whole cryptocurrency blockchain ecosystem is evolving, always innovating.
It's been a wild ride so far, hasn't it? Exploring cryptocurrency from its mysterious origins to today. The rise of DeFi, NFTs, and CBDCs. The challenges and the opportunities that lie ahead. But before we wrap up, we need to address one more crucial topic: the environmental impact of cryptocurrency mining.
It's a big one, a lot of debate and concern around it.
That study from Cambridge University, you said, they analyzed the energy consumption of Bitcoin mining. It's a lot. I mean, Bitcoin mining uses as much electricity as entire countries.
Bitcoin mining uses a ton of energy, it's true. The proof of work consensus mechanism it uses, well, it requires miners to solve complicated math problems. That takes a lot of computing power, a lot of electricity.
It's a global race to solve these puzzles,
Yeah.
right? The winner adds the next block to the blockchain and gets Bitcoin as a reward. But it comes at a cost.
A cost to the environment, yes. And as the price of Bitcoin goes up, the incentive for miners grows, which means even more energy consumption.
It's like a catch-22. Bitcoin's success fuels its energy consumption.
Thankfully, people are working on solutions. Some cryptocurrencies use different consensus mechanisms, like proof of stake, way less energy intensive.
Oh, right. Like Cardano, they use proof of stake. Much less energy than Bitcoin's proof of work.
And there are initiatives to use renewable energy sources for mining, solar power, wind power, that sort of thing.
That's a good sign. It seems like the crypto community knows about the environmental concerns. They're trying to find sustainable solutions.
They are. The future of cryptocurrency isn't just about cool technology, it's also about responsibility, taking care of the planet.
Well said. This deep dive has been incredible. We've covered so much, from Bitcoin's mysterious beginnings to the rise of DeFi, NFTs, and CBDCs. We've explored the challenges and the opportunities of this tech. But before we say goodbye, let's recap some key takeaways, some final thoughts for our listener. So as we wrap things up, what are the big takeaways? What should you remember from all this? Bitcoin was first, the pioneer, but it's not alone anymore. There's a whole universe of cryptos out there.
Right. And each one has its own thing, its own use. Litecoin, for example, focuses on speed, makes everyday transactions easier.
Faster and more efficient.
Exactly. And Ethereum, well, with its smart contracts, it opens up so many possibilities for those decentralized applications. And stablecoins, they could be the bridge between the crypto world and traditional finance, you know?
Yeah.
Then you have DeFi, decentralized finance. It's like watching a whole new financial system being built right before our eyes.
It's mind-blowing, really.
Okay.
And it's clear from your notes you're fascinated by DeFi. All the potential there. But we got to be real, too. There are risks. Crypto can be a bit of a wild west, right?
Yeah.
Volatility, regulation, scams.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Do your research, understand the tech, assess the risks, and never invest more than you can afford to lose. That's crucial.
Solid advice. And speaking of navigating this complex landscape, there's that big elephant in the room. Central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Seems like every government is thinking about launching their own digital currency now.
It's definitely a trend. Raises some big questions. Will CBDCs work with existing cryptocurrencies or compete with them? Will they offer more stability, more security? Or will they lead to more government control, more surveillance?
Yeah, that's the debate, isn't it? And it's probably going to continue for a while. But one thing's for sure, CBDCs show us that the world's taking digital currencies seriously. This is happening.
No doubt about it. The financial world is changing, and it's going to keep changing even faster from here on out. But, you know, with all the hype, all the talk about getting rich quick, it's important to remember why cryptocurrency matters. It's about empowering individuals, about innovation, about building a financial system that's more inclusive, more transparent.
That's a good point to end on.
Yeah.
So, listener, what's the big takeaway for you?
Right.
Cryptocurrency is a powerful force, and it's not going away. It's complex, it's constantly changing, and it's full of opportunities, but also challenges. The future of money is being shaped right now.
Yeah.
It's up to all of us to stay informed, to participate, to be a part of this new financial frontier.
The best way to learn is to jump in, to actually do it. Explore the platforms, dig deeper into the topics that interest you. You've already started. With all the research you've done, keep going.
You got it. Keep learning, keep exploring, and stay tuned for the next deep dive. But before you go, one last question for you to think about. Imagine a world where CBDCs are everywhere, totally normal. Would you still use Bitcoin, Ethereum? Would they have different roles? Or would one just fade away?
Tough question. No easy answer, but it's worth thinking about. The future of cryptocurrency, it's uncertain, but it's definitely going to be an exciting ride.
You can say that again. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.